Everyone, today we're gonna do a shoulder today. I'm gonna do front and side delt. I'm not gonna really focus on my rear delt because I have a whole day for rear delts. So today my lat is a little bit achy. It's been achy ever since my competition, and it still hasn't gotten better. I'm still pushed through it. It's something you gotta deal with when you cutting and manipulating your calorie intake. Sometimes you get real weak, and those can cause sometimes minor injuries. They're not like big injuries, but they are considered injuries. So my lat is still messing with me, and it's kind of frustrating, but I'm not going to let it limit me. I'm going to push as much as I can anyway. It seems like I'm always a little bit achy for some other reason or not. Hey, it is what it is. You guys might be hearing me talking about like how achy my lat is or how achy this and that. You might be wondering he's always complaining about something like that. I'm not complaining. I'm letting you know what's going on with me, because despite whatever's going on with me, you see me in the gym working hard, still pushing hard. I just want to try to motivate you and not let your thoughts and something obstacles get in your way of your lifting. At the same time, though, I don't know if pushing myself sometimes so hard is hindering my growth or is not. Some people say you got to push through failure. Some people say you got to, leave a few reps in the tank, let yourself recover. You do got to focus on recovery, and I know that stuff. So sometimes I push myself too hard, and I know that, and that's why I get these little minor aches and stuff. That's the way I like to work out. It's not unmanageable. Sometimes I do deload to let my body rest and stuff like that. And I know that I push myself too hard, because training someone, this is the second time a client tells me I'm a kind of passive trainer, because they're just starting and I'm not pushing them as hard to failure. But the thing is, I'm not going to push someone who just started at the gym 1 or 2 sessions to go to failure or even beyond failure when they don't even know the movements correctly and their body's not used to it. Even when I cut down extremely for a competition and take a week or 2 off, I start slowly increasing my volume, because your body needs to get used to that again. Your body, especially for someone new at the gym, I'm not gonna push you to the extreme until your body can really handle that and get resilience at the lower volume and the lower weight and stuff like that. And I know all this stuff, but when it comes to me, I just push myself hard, and that's the way I like to train. For the average person, you don't even have to go that hard. You didn't have to train that many days if you don't want to, just to stay fit. And you shouldn't be all achy from working out. You should actually feel better. You should actually feel more range of motion. You should actually feel stronger. You shouldn't feel fatigued. Like I said, I be feeling like that sometimes because I go the extreme route. So, and if you like training like I like training, go for it. As long as you don't injure yourself for a point where you got to be months out of the gym, then that's the issue. You know, if you like to push yourself and test your limits, go ahead. Just do it the safe way. I was talking how I go too hard sometimes, and that might not be the best thing. Recently, I've been going so hard on my legs that I've been cramping. Like, last time I did legs, well, not the last time, the previous time I did legs, I went so hard on my quads that my quads cramped up really bad. And then I did legs again, and I didn't even touch my quads. I just did hamstrings. If that's the best thing for you to go that hard, I don't know. I don't really think so. I'm thinking causing so much damage, it actually takes so long to recover from. Is that the best way to do it? Like I said, I don't know. I'm just kind of psychotic like that. The first time it happened to me, it really, really hurt it. And now it's like I'm looking forward to it. When I do legs, I'm like, if I don't get that way, I didn't go hard enough. And that is crazy. You don't have to do that. That is extreme. I don't think it's the most effective way to train legs. But I like pushing myself. It's more of a mental thing when it comes down to that. It makes me feel good, like I accomplished something. I have a very strong pain tolerance anyway. I've broken bones and got up and walked. I've got 50 stitches on the side of my leg and walked down a block home. I had a motorcycle accident. I tried to get up, but my body didn't let me get up. The skin came off my knees. I have a big scar here. While I was in the hospital, I got off the bed and stood up to use the bathroom. I don't know why I did that. I should have just peed in the pan. But anyways, besides the point is I do got a high pain tolerance. So sometimes I kind of go extra hard and punish myself for no real reason at all. But I like it. It's more a mental thing. So sometimes it's more of a mental thing. And if you, like I mentioned before, if you like training like that, go ahead. But you don't have to go to that extreme. Like, you really don't if you don't want to. If you don't have, like, if you just training just for yourself and not really competing in anything, I won't even recommend it going that hard. Shrugs hit your traps, and your traps are technically not part of your shoulder. So even though your traps come out here, the upper traps come out here, they're part of your back. They're muscles that run through the, can't even reach back there. They're kind of right here. You got the upper and lower trap. They run through the middle of your back. When I was younger, I thought your traps were part of your shoulders, so I used to shrug on shoulder day. So that's what I'm doing now. Now I know better that your traps are not part of your shoulder, but I still shrug because I always done it like that. And I like doing shrugs on my shoulder day, because even though they do hit your trap, working out the front and side delt right now, that little movement, you get a little movement in the shoulder, you're really not hitting it. You mostly hitting your traps. But I always done it that way, and I feel like it doesn't really fatigue my back to the point where it affects my back workout. So I do shrugs, and I like doing shrugs and for my traps, and it's an area where I really don't have to go too heavy, do too often, because naturally I have big traps without working out. Even when I was skinny, my traps something to stick out. My brother has big traps, and my two sons have big traps. My one son, he's about to turn 2, the other one 11, and they have big traps. So naturally, we were blessed with big traps, so we don't have to train them that much. So I always like doing shrugs on my shoulder days. My strength hasn't come back completely from my competition, from cutting and bulking back up. But what I'm noticing is, and I don't know if this is mental, every time I'm cutting for a show and come back, I've done a few shows already. This is kind of the second time that I see this. My body's just rebounding and just putting on back muscle really quick. And this time I'm trying to keep my belly in check. So my belly is, I have some fat, of course. I can't, build muscle without gaining some type of fat. It's really hard to gain muscle being lean. I mean, I think it's kind of possible. Some people say it's not. It's just going to be extremely hard because your body's fighting to grow new muscle. It's trying to keep the muscle, because if you're so lean, to a certain point, if you're really, really lean, your body doesn't want to build any muscle. There's a term now, they say main gaining, where you stay the same weight and build muscle. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm trying to stay around the same weight and try not put on too much fat. But like I said, my stomach is staying on point, and I gained a few pounds. So I feel like cutting and bulking, at least for me, has been working, because my body's just been rebounding, and like I look better every time I do it. I'm gonna finish up with some lat pull downs. Why am I doing lat pull downs if my lat is a little achy? Well, I'm trying to stretch it out under load, and also just warming it up, getting some blood pumped into the muscle so that blood will bring nutrients into the muscle and stuff like that. When you injure yourself or, you work out, your body throws a signal out and information, it pumps all this blood in there. You get a double-edged sword though when you get the soreness, you're inflamed, because then it restricts some blood to it too. That's why you gotta elevate, let's say you sprain your ankle, you swells up, you elevate your foot to let the blood come down. and work. So I'm gonna stretch it out to help with that, and then I'm gonna allow it to also get some warmth and some blood into the muscle with all the nutrients. I'm not a doctor, so don't do this stuff if you feel any pain and stuff like that. Clear with your doctor. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing. So just be careful. That's the end of the workout. I feel super hungry right now. I usually don't feel this hungry when I finish working out, but today I feel really hungry. So be safe out there. I'll talk to y'all.